It's Friday, February 8th, and time for another book update video. This is my opening video for February 2019 as I count down to retirement. About 4.5 months to go, about 90 work days starting Monday. So what did I get this week? This was sent to me by a friend in England, my best friend pretty much. Mona Sita, The Life of a Custer Captive, written by Peter Harrison and edited by Gary Leonard. Gary is my friend. As You Wish, which I just started reading. This I picked up at Strand, and I just started reading it. Inconceivable Tales from the Making of the Princess Bride by Carrie, I guess you pronounce it Elwes. This was $1 outside. Marlowe, the graphic novel, also $1. This is a Raymond Chandler's Marlowe. It's a graphic comic. There's 3 stories in here: Goldfish, Trouble Is My Business, and The Pencil. Then I got a Dashiell Hammett reading copy of The Big Knockover, which is various short stories. Lincoln, President for the Ages, by edited by Carl Weber. And it has some interesting articles about Lincoln. Not all of them from his time, but some of them have like weird titles, like let me see here. Lincoln and the Hiroshima decision, something to do with World War II. I'm not really sure what it's about, but hopefully I'll get to read it someday. And then I picked up The Story of World War II by Donald L. Miller. So that's it for this week, and hopefully go before the end of the month out 1 or 2 trips for books, and that's it. Like I said, about 4.5 months to go to retirement roughly, and already February is like 1/4 over. So till next time, bye. Hello, it is Friday, February 15th, and time for another book update video. My book haul for the last week is not that big because it's becoming very hard to buy books at Strand. There's professional booksellers outside. I'm only there during lunch, and they're basically getting most everything that comes out. Not that I want most of it, but I'm sure there's a few things I would have purchased, but I'm just not there to get it, and it's just too much competition. But I did manage to get 3 books this week. So I did get The Liberator by Alex Kershaw. I put the clear broad art jacket on it. This is a World War II book. It's a history book. It's got very good reviews. The Great Movies. In cinema history, 60 films deserve to be called, which is, I guess, part of the title, The Great Movies. Got good reviews also, and this was a good find, in great shape. Put the clear jacket on it. And Battle Maps of the Civil War, text by Richard O'Shea, and featuring maps by David Greenspan, and introduction by Robert K. Crick. It has nice artwork in it by Don Triani, and photographs and maps. It looks pretty good. And today, and those books, by the way, were $2 each. At the supermarket today, and everything with a magazine nowadays is special collector's edition, so they could charge you a ridiculous amount of money. So I bought Led Zeppelin collector's edition Rolling Stone magazine, even though I think Rolling Stone is not something I usually ever look at, but the special collectors for Led Zeppelin, I thought I'd get it. And this was $14, $13.99. And this is the Saturday Evening Post 75th Anniversary Collector's Edition, D-Day. Inside the Most Important Hours of the 20th Century. And this was $13. So $27 for 2 magazines. It was kind of crazy, but I treated myself. So that's it for this week. Tomorrow we go to Long Island to a bookstore and going bowling and whatnot. So maybe I'll find some books for the following week. Take care. Bye. It is Friday, February 22nd, and time for another end-of-week book update video, or book haul update video. So what did I get this week? Harold Robbins' The Dream Merchants. This was 50 cents. Nice cover. I have this book, I think, but probably with a different cover. Suicide or Murder, about Meriwether Lewis by Vardis Fisher. This is from the early 1960s, in great shape, was $1. Hollywood Love Stories by Gil Paul. There was a dust jacket with the same exact picture you see here, but it was not in good shape, and I just tossed it. Book was $2. Baston by the Roadblock, and it's by Peter Elstob, Elstob. It's a little softcover book, World War II. Tales of Mystery and Madness, Edgar Allan Poe. There's 4 stories in here. I think it's 4 stories. And there's artwork. They're kind of cartoonish stories or illustrated stories. The Black Cat, The Mask of the Red Death, Hop Frog, and The Fall of the House of Usher. And I'll give you an idea of the art. The art is by Gris, Gris, Grimley. This is the only book I paid full price for this week. Well, not full price, but half price. A higher price than all the others, which were like, 50 cents, $1. This William Shatner, The Live Long and What I Learned Along the Way, written with David Fisher. Hardcover is in great shape. It's like, I don't know, $13. And this was a great find. It's like brand new. The only thing with it is there's a little bit of sun fading at the top, but it's not a big deal. The Civil War, A Treasury of Art and Literature, $2. I was very surprised to find this outside at Strand with the professional book buyers there. I guess they just aren't interested in that topic, or thought the book was too big. I don't know, but there it was. I got it. So that's it for this week. Tomorrow we are going upstate New York to Poughkeepsie to a bookstore, and another one in Middletown. Going bowling, eating out, have a good time. So we'll see. Maybe I'll do a video tomorrow night or Sunday. Till next time, bye. Hello, it is Sunday, February 24th, and time for another book haul update. So yesterday we went to 2 used bookstores. These are bookstores that are attached to libraries, and they have very good prices. One of the libraries was having a flash sale. Everything was half off of their low prices. So hardcovers were $1. Softcover books were 50 cents, and paperbacks were $0.25. Some really nice ones that I picked up. Okay, so let's go over. I'm going to also show what my wife picked up yesterday. She found quite a few books. Well, 7 looks like over here. So let's go through these. Behind Enemy Lines by Martha, well, it's spelled M-A-R-T-H-E, Cohn, with Wendy Holden. The true story of a French Jewish spy in Nazi Germany. Bill Clinton and James Patterson, The President is Missing. She likes to read James Patterson books, my wife. This looks interesting. It's Tom Jones, like brand new. Tom Jones autobiography, Over the Top and Back, it's subtitled. Or that is the title. Over the Top and Back. And Don Rickles, a memoir, written with the help of David Ritz. Again, great shape, like new. This I found for her. It's Golden Girls Collector's Edition magazine. That was, I think, 50 cents or $0.25. I'm not sure what they charged her for that. Dreaming of Jeannie, TV's Primetime in a Bottle, by Steve Cox, C-O-X, with Howard Frank. There's also some Bewitched in the back chapter in the back of the book. And once we retire, my wife would like to do some knitting. She found this nice book, The Cool Girl's Guide to Knitting by Nikki Trench. And A Pictorial History of the Beatles. I think I found this for her. By Marie Cahill. Okay, so what did I get? Let's see here. I think it's 29 books. So first, this little copy of Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. Has artwork in here. It's a cute little book there. And here's some paperbacks. Elma Kelton, Yano River. Battle Cry by Leon Uris. I put the books in these bags. Since I'm reading Streets of Laredo and I've already read Lonesome Dove, I thought I should get this too. Dead Man's Walk by Larry McMurtry. Expedition by Dana Fuller Ross, which is a pen name. Forget for who, but maybe James Reasoner's in my head, but it could be someone else. Anyway, I have this already, but it's only a quarter. The other copy I think might be in newer condition, so I could read that one and save the other one. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully I get to read it. I got so many books. John Fire, Lame Dare, and Richard Erdos, Lame Dare, Seeker of Visions. I have this, but it was only a quarter. It's a nice book. If I ever, know somebody who might want to read it, I have a few copies. Star Trek Movie Memories by William Shatner, written with Chris Kresge. I have the Star Trek Memories, not Movie Memories, but I think it's just called Memories, the other book that William Shatner wrote. And I have that in hardcover and softcover or paperback, and now I have it for this too, paperback. So this is good for going on a trip with to read. Here's another copy of Streets of Laredo, Larry McMurtry. I wouldn't have bought it, but I'm really liking the book, and it was such nice shape. It was only a quarter. Raymond Chandler, The High Window. This is like a English or Australian import. It's only a quarter. It's got a weird cover to it. Not something I'd expect for a Raymond Chandler book, but I just picked it up for the novelty of it. This looked interesting. It had a bunch of science fiction paperbacks, but I wound up putting most of them back after reading reviews online. It just didn't seem like it was really my kind of thing. But this one looks good. An Exaltation of Stars, edited by Terry Carr. Earthmen venture to the edge of the infinite. There was one paperback maybe I should have gotten. I don't know, but it was like sci-fi with like religious-based stories. But I wasn't sure if they were like pro or con. And I'm not really religious, so even for the quarter, I just didn't know if I needed it. I wasn't sure if it was like like I say, pro religion, and I didn't want to really read that. Wind in the Wires by Duncan Grinnell Milne, or Milne. World War I flying novel. And these two books, they were right next to each other, and they're in mint condition. They look unread. The Legend of Bruce Lee by Alex Ben Block, and Bruce Lee, the Man Only I Knew by his wife, Linda Lee. I looked this up online. I think people were selling it for over $100. I got it for a quarter. Matter of fact, the two of these books together were 50 cents, and they're like unread. I put them in the bags, nice condition. I would like to read them. I hate to mess them up. I read very carefully, but still you can't help handling the book for them to get a little bit worn. But maybe I'll get lucky and find some beat up copies that I can read and save those. But I was very happy to find that. I'm not like a really big martial arts movie fan. I don't really watch that, but Bruce Lee was great, and he was interesting to me because he was an atheist, and that's really different from like the culture that he grew up in. I don't know if there's anything about it in the books, but just a fascinating guy. He really was great at what he did, and hopefully they're good books. Saga of Chief Joseph. This was 50 cents. This is by Helen Addison Howard. I have it, but I needed actually to fill out. I was filling up the boxes that I bring out to the car, and I had a little bit of space, and just like get everything packed in real nice. Sometimes I pick out another book or two to help fill the gap. So did that with this one here. I didn't have to have it, but it doesn't hurt. Life in the Far West by George Frederick Ruxton. I actually have this book, but not this copy. This is by Skyhorse Publishing. It's like a reprint. It's just kind of interesting to me because they did this on their own. They took like the original book, I guess, made it into a PDF file. I've done a lot of stuff like that myself, publishing through Lulu. So I just kind of got it for the novelty of it. And it was like in brand new condition. Led Zeppelin by Mick Wall, subtitled When Giants Walked the Earth. Looked interesting. It was 50 cents. Not like a big expense, and I recently picked up a collector's edition Led Zeppelin magazine, so now I have two, well, a book and a magazine on Led Zeppelin, one of the greatest rock bands of all time. Marie Sandos, The Beaver Men. This was 50 cents. This was something I normally would never buy, but 50 cents, what the hell. Pamela Desbars or Desbars. I guess it's Desbars. I'm with the band. Confessions of a Groupie. This is an updated edition. So of course, she was messing around with like the guys in Led Zeppelin. It's in great shape. This I have in hardcover. I picked it up just like as a reading copy. Good for like a trip or on the train. Custer Sitting Bull and the Battle of the Little Bighorn. I guess that's a subtitle, obviously. The title is The Last Stand by Nathaniel Philbrook. Sex, Drugs, Rat and Roll, My Life in Rock by Stephen Pearcy. I was surprised to see this. It was 50 cents. What the hell? I like Rat a lot from the 80s. And why not read about his life a little bit and how the band got started? Probably a quick read like the Vince Neil book I have, which I haven't read yet. Galactic Empires, Volume 1, by edited by Brian Aldiss. There's how many stories in here? 1, 2, let me see. There's a bunch of stories in here. Well, it looks interesting. Hopefully it's good. This is a rare book to find, at least from all my shopping experiences. I have it in hardcover, but I wanted to get it again. It's Apaches, a novel by Oakley Hall, author of Warlock and the Badlands. I think I might have all of them in hardcover, but this I now have 2 of. It's like excellent new shape. Couldn't let it go for $1. Here's another one I was kind of surprised to find. Gene Simmons, I guess it's like kind of an autobiography, Kiss and Make Up by Gene Simmons, and it's like excellent new condition, $1. I think this was $1. Time, VE Day, America's Greatest Generation and their World War II Triumph. Now this book I have, but I don't have it in softcover, and I thought it would be cool to have. It only I think it was $1, maybe it was $2. This was at a different bookstore, not the one having the flash sale. Might have been $2, but it still seemed very reasonable. Iwo Jima by Eric Hamel or Hamel. Great condition. This was a good book to find. This was $1. Quite a nice find. British Film Posters, an illustrated history by Sim Brannigan. It's got good review online, and it sells for more money than I ever would have paid for it. If I didn't find it in a used bookstore, I would have just passed it by, but really cool. Let's see. This text and lots of pictures. Nice book. Carl Sagan by Kie Davidson. This book has mixed reviews. I picked it up because, well, it was only $1, but also there was there was a movie made on a book that he wrote called Contact, and Kevin McConaughey is in that, and he's very religious, like, Bible believing guy, and which I just don't get. But there's a little story in here about how there was a line he refused to say about God in the movie Contact. I guess they had to change it or delete it. So just kind of, tidbits like that in the book, it might be interesting. And what the hell, $1. Brando by Charles Hyam. This is an unauthorized biography. The readers gave it good reviews. I found one professional review that didn't. The author of that review did not like the book, but it was only $1, and it is what it is. I have some other books on Brando, so it's just one more to add. Woody Allen on Location. It was in excellent condition, only $1. It's by, looks like, Thierry de Navicelle. And here's another Woody Allen, a biography by Eric Lax. I have this book in softcover, so for $1, I figured, what the hell. All this what the hell stuff, and I have like nowhere to put these books. The Western by Phil Hardy, the complete film source book. This was, I think, $1, and I have it, but what the hell, $1. I'm not walking out without this. It's a really nice book. All, Western movies. What year is this from? I'm gonna guess 1970 something. Let's see. Let's see what it says. Or maybe early 1980s. I'm gonna say early 1980s, but I don't see a date in here. I'm gonna guess early 1980s. Oh, let's see. Yeah, the 80s. One of the chapters is called the 80s, so it must have been in the 80s. So the 1980s. It's a very short chapter. So 1981, 83, yeah, so early 80s, early 1980s. So that's it for this particular book haul. And, we went bowling, had a great time, went out to eat. We always have a good time. Hopefully we'll have many, many, many others. So until the end of this month, when I do my final video in a few days for the month of February, take care. It's February 28th, Thursday night, February 28th, and this is my last video for the month of February 2019. Tomorrow is March. Hard to believe, down to about 4 months to retirement. So what did I pick up this week at Strand? This actually picked up 3 books, all of them today. I was not at work on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I didn't find anything, and today I found 3 books. Terror by Night, Classic Ghost and Horror Stories by Ambrose Bierce. This was $1. He wrote a lot of Civil War stories, and some of them, I guess, are like ghostly or horror stories. Jedediah Smith and the Opening of the West by Dale L. Morgan, with the cover illustration by Frederick Remington. This was $1. And the last book, The Victors, Eisenhower and His Boys, The Men of World War II by Stephen E. Ambrose. This was $2. Hardcover, nice condition. Actually, it's like just about excellent condition. So what books did I read this month? I'm going to skip movies like I did last month. Just forget the movies. 1,000 White Women, The Journals of May Dodd by Jim Fergus. 2 stars out of 5. As You Wish, Inconceivable Tales from the Making of the Princess Bride by Carrie Elwes. I gave 4.5 stars. And Streets of Laredo by Larry McMurtry, which is the follow-up to Lonesome Dove, I gave 4 stars. I could even go 4.25 stars. I would have gone 4.5 or higher, but there were like maybe a couple of details I would have changed about the book. But other than that, I thought it was excellent. So that is it for the month of February. I'm wearing my Split Happens bowling shirt. We went bowling tonight. And so tomorrow my son has an endoscopy, and hopefully that all goes well with that. And it's going to be March in just a few hours. Take care.